Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed the international bus tonight. Hopefully, the Germany game is in the rearview mirror now and it is full steam ahead to Wednesday night, where Switzerland await Scotland in Cologne. And here we are to talk about it tonight. And as you can see, my team tonight, I've got, look at this background that he's got, a Scotland flag behind him. Regan Stevenson, you're looking the part tonight with the Scotland flag. How you doing, mate?
It's good to be on, Phil. It was good. No, I enjoyed I'm enjoying the football that's on now.
Mm.
I was just sad that we were talking about the element of the game last week, and then Scotland going to a performance like that one. So no, it wasn't great, but
No,
hopefully it is better on 2 nights time, Phil. But no, I'm looking forward to talking with you and Michael. It'll be good.
yeah, man. Well, I mean, for what it's worth, just with that result on Friday night, Scotland have put themselves in the record books as being the worst defeat on the opening day of European Championship. So, well done, Scotland, in the record books for that one. And Michael, two shifts in a row for you, mate. You were on yesterday on the Blether, and here you are again tonight, my man. But how are you?
Good mate, good. Just back in with the shop, so to fly in quickly and come log in. But I'm looking forward to it. Eventually getting over Friday.
I know, slowly but surely.
I wasn't the best of mood for 2 days, but I can done now. It's on to the next one on Wednesday.
We will, to bring a wee bit of PTSD time, we will touch a little bit on what happened on Friday because we'll need to as we look ahead to it. But yes, so hopefully the players have got it out their system because they're going to need a big performance on Wednesday night because it is pretty much hanging by a thread here. But before we get into all that, folks, remember what you can do to help the bus out. You can do all that good stuff. You can hit that like button. You can hit the subscribe button. You can get involved in our comments tonight. And of course, you can share the link to the Bhoycie Bus far and wide. Like, share, slag the hair, as Russell always says. And of course, head over to piesports.com and use that code BUS1888. That'll let them know that the bus sent you. And you'll get 12.5% off your tasty treats ahead of the football. All this football that's going on right now, it's an absolute feast of football. So yeah, let's get into it, guys. Let's talk about Scotland and let's talk about the trials and tribulations of this national team because yes, obviously we have played Germany. And it didn't go particularly well. I came on Friday night with Johnny. Thanks to Johnny for jumping on with me. I did say I'll do a PMP regardless, and I did. And I still plan to do one as well for the Switzerland game regardless. Hopefully they give us something better to talk about. But yeah, we were on Friday night. And yeah, there wasn't many positives to say. And at the time when I did the show, I had my perspective was still, look, nothing's really changed in the grand scheme of things because Scotland's target still would have been the Switzerland game and the Hungary game is where they're going to try and get points. Germany was a free hit. We did get out of the way first, and oh boy, we did get out of the way in a big way, but it's done now. It's finished. But yeah, over the course of the last few days, I've just kind of like, my mood about it still goes a bit up and down, and I still think about it and some of the things that have happened because I've got a list here, a list that I want to read out to you guys, and you're going to wonder where I'm going with this because I've got a list of football clubs. So here we go. Brentford, Lazio, Cluj, Atalanta, Lokomotiv Moscow, Lecce, Inter Milan, Guangzhou, they're a Korean team, Sassuolo, Banyes, who are a United Arab Emirates team, and Fulham. Now, what have those 11 clubs got in common? That is the clubs for the starting 11 of the Albania team, who gave Italy a right good scare. And Regan, when you look at that, and you look at Albania's performance against Italy, and I know many of us have said, but it was Germany we were playing. I was even guilty of it on Friday night. But when you look at what Albania did on Saturday against Italy and how they gave them a right scare and made Italy work for it, kind of leaves a bit of a sour taste in the mouth that we couldn't even lay a glove on Germany, Regan.
And looking back, Phil, I think it was more psychologically that we got really affected by it. I think mentally, I think we struggled. I think we choked in the big stage. Because for me, I think we've got players there that are surely capable of doing well. I mean, McTominay or McSauce, Scotland fans like to call him. I mean, McTominay's been brilliant for Scotland. John McGinn, McGregor, Che Adams, Shankland, all these players have been really good for Scotland. So I just think they've frozen the biggest of stages. I think that's what happened, and I'm putting it down to psychologically, maybe because it was the opening game, because of the hype. I'm putting it down to that. And I'm thinking, over the course of the next 2 games, we're going to at least get 4 points. I'm being positive. Come on, Scotland.
Yeah, it's still there to be done, but not what Regan's saying there about, the game plan and whatnot, and it did feel like, Michael, the game plan just went right out the window early on. I was saying to Johnny on Friday night on PMP that within 90 seconds, I think Angus Gunn had to save one with his face. It was just a really simple ball over the top to Florian Wirtz, and he was flagged offside in the end, but it was an early scare, and it just never got better after that, and yeah, it's a very Scottish thing, Michael, that we can say the only goal so far we've scored. We didn't even get a shot on target officially because it was an own goal. And that's just so typically Scotland, really, isn't it?
It is. Like Regan said, Phil, I think players froze the big occasion, and I think they were just overawed by playing the opening match. A lot of them, obviously the first major tournament with Scotland, the first major tournament with fans anyway, it was the Euros a few years ago. I think what you're saying about the game plan and stuff like that, see if the game plan, if any chance to work, you kind of concede within the first 10 minutes. Literally, then everything goes out the window, and just an uphill struggle. We couldn't get near them. Couldn't get on the ball. We couldn't bring like 5 passes together. So I just think we looked overawed with the occasion, and every player struggled. The amount of space that Germans seem to have all the time.
Tony Kroos in particular, Jesus man,
exactly.
nobody went and made it hard for them. And to say, when you look at the Albania performance against Italy, and I've read out the clubs that all those Albanian players play for, and it's like we've got players that play for Man United, Aston Villa, Liverpool. Obviously, Tierney's an Arsenal player, but he's on loan at Real Sociedad in La Liga. Other than the exception, there's like one Lazio player and one at the Milan player in that Albanian side. But look at what they did against the Italians. And it's like, I know Italy still won the game, but at the end, if you saw the celebrations, Donnarumma, he was absolutely relieved to have won that game. It was hard work for them. And it's like, see, if we just gave a performance like that, we're okay. We still came away with a loss, but we made the Germans work for it. I mean, Manuel Neuer could easily just pitched up a tent at his goal mouth and just sat around and just with a campfire or something, just done nothing, read a book, just because we just did nothing at all to test them, and it was just a breeze. It was just a walk in the park for the Germans, and it's just going to have to be a lot better going into Wednesday.
I mean, I think that's a great point you make there, Phil, in terms of Manuel didn't really have much to do. I think I've seen people online blaming Che Adams should have done better and stuff like that. But I think everybody in the Scotland squad would say that every player was not very great, and I think it's very typical to blame the strikers. But see, when you're not getting anybody supplying you with a really good ball, or you're getting somebody that's saying, well, that actually providing you with chances. What is Che Adams supposed to do? He's not getting the opportunities for all the space, all the possession. Like, if Callum McGregor and John McGinn are not providing them, then what's he supposed to do?
No, totally. I was surprised that Che Adams did get the nod. I thought it was going to be Shankland because Shankland played the 2 friendlies. But when I saw Adams, I thought, well, fair, he's a bit mobile, but nobody gave him anything to work with. You're right. There was a lot of hyperbole on Friday night, Regan. I think it was just the hysteria after the defeat. There was a lot of anger and just disbelief. I think a lot of fans were just shocked and awed, really, that we got absolutely done like that. And they were just looking for something to blame. I'd blame Che Adams. But yeah, what went on behind him, as Michael said, the game plan's out the window in the first 10 minutes, and the players had no recovery after that. As I said earlier on to Johnny on Friday night, like, the 10-minute block scenario where you divide the clock up as you're watching it. They scored after 9 minutes and then 19 minutes, and it was like, well, 20 minutes in, 2 10-minute blocks, and that's already 2 down. So what chance have you got? And then, of course, it didn't get any better when Ryan Porteous, who's now suspended for the 2 remaining games in the group. Whether Scotland will have another game, who knows? But Ryan Porteous is suspended, and it was a rash one, Michael. And I know he had to go for it, right? Because Gundogan's essentially got a tap in. It's rolling out to him. He's just going to put his laces through it and batter it into the net. But one of the things that I think I was always critical about Porteous when he played up here as well is he was always too rash. He gave away a lot of stupid penalties, and he got sent off quite a fair bit when he played for Hibs. Ironically, apparently he'd said in the build-up to this tournament he's matured as a player down in England playing for Watford. He's changed, but no, it's and the funny bit about it, Michael, as well, is the fact that when he fouled him when he went in with that lunge. It's the fact that he lay there holding his own ankle, like, oh, I've hurt myself. It's like, nah, referee's no buying it, mate. No in the VAR day and age, Michael.
No, I know. Like when I first saw it, I thought he'd won the ball. Whatever. It was just an honest attempt. But you see the replay and see the follow through. Like that's just typical Ryan Porteous. And like you said, Phil, he was doing that with Hibs a few years ago. That's him supposed to have matured. He's never going to learn. I don't think he's always going. That's always going to be his locker. The daft rash tackles. Like he just has a brain freeze and he just goes into footed. He's done it so many times. Like, remember we played at Easter Road? It was Angie's first season, and he left Cal McGregor with 2 massive gashes right down his shin.
Yep.
Tackle.
Yep.
That was 3 years ago. So
yeah, no change. And the same. It's always bad for giving away penalties, particularly against Rangers, funny enough, but the jokes write themselves for that one. But let's talk about then our opponents on Wednesday night, Switzerland, the team that most fans would look at and say, that's the 3 points game right there. Well, obviously the dynamic of this group has changed after just one set of games. Switzerland aren't as bad as we thought, but what do we know about Switzerland? I did a wee fact file for the Germans when we went to play them on the preview show last week. So what can I tell you about Switzerland? Well, they have actually hosted a World Cup and a Euro. They hosted the World Cup back in 1954, a World Cup that was won by West Germany, who beat Hungary in the final, another team that we'll be playing very soon. They've also co-hosted the Euros. They co-hosted it in 2008 along with Austria. However, the national team have not won any major honours. This is the 5th European Championship that they have qualified for. The best that they have achieved up to now is a quarter-finals, which they got at the last Euros in 2021, where they beat France in the round of 16 on a penalty shootout. They were 3-1 down with 10 minutes to go and got it back to 3-3 and then beat France on penalties. Mbappe missed the deciding penalty that night. They've also qualified for 8 World Cups, and the best they've done in that, again, is a quarter-final, but it's been quite a while since they've been in the quarter-finals of a World Cup. 1934, 1938, and 1954. So some notable names of Swiss football over yesteryear. A couple of interesting ones in here. So you've got guys like Turki Yilmaz and Chapuisat, who were the 2 strikers back at Euro 96. Alexander Frey, Stefan Lichtsteiner, former Juventus defender, came across our path in a Champions League game a while back. Him and Scott Brown had a very good wrestling match that night. He was a proper shithouser, him. Stefan Oncho, who played for us at one point, played for Liverpool as well. We had a short spell at Celtic. Joran Giroud, who was at Arsenal. He was he was in the squad, I think, for Arsenal's Invincibles, but I don't think he was a prominent member of the team. Philip Senderos, remember him? Yeah, he was Swiss.
The 5-1 game.
And of course, the 2 brothers who are synonymous, connected with Celtic as well, because one of them was always linked with Hakan and Murat Yakin. Yes, indeed. They played for FC Basel against us in a qualifier back in 2002, and they beat us. And then for the next 5 or 6 windows solid, Hakan Yakin was always linked with us, and nothing ever came of it. So the domestic league is the Swiss Super League, and notable clubs in that league are Basel, FC Zurich, Grasshopper Zurich, Young Boys of Bern, and a couple of notable teams that Celtic know from years gone by. And you'll remember this one, Michael, Xamax. Yeah, the infamous Xamax defeat from the early 90s. Was it Liam Brady?
Neuchâtel Xamax, isn't it?
Neuchâtel Xamax,
that's right.
I just called them Xamax. I genuinely don't know how to pronounce the first one.
I know, that might not be right either, in fairness. So, fair point.
Yeah, and the other one, of course, is FC Sion, who, of course, if you remember them.
That was the court case.
Yep, they are absolute madman of a chairman. So, something Constantine, his name was, and UEFA told the club in advance, do not play these players. They were illegally signed under a transfer embargo, and their chairman just said, nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to play them. And they played them against us. They did beat us over the 2 legs, but then UEFA were like, we told you not to do that. And it turned into a messy court case, and we got into the Europa League through the back door. But yeah, Sion and Xamax.
I might be saying this, but I know you're the Celtic wiki, but we played they have not played their games at Murrayfield as well.
No, they weren't Murrayfield ones. They were before the Murrayfield. That was in 2012 we played them. 2011, it was after Neil Lennon's first season. It was the summer of the infamous administration season for Rangers. It was 2011-2012 season.
Who did we play in Murrayfield?
We played Reykjavik and we played Legia Warsaw. Yeah, that was Ronnie Dyler.
Warsaw got chunked out, no?
Yeah, that was a couple of years later. Yeah, we got 2. We got 2 European previews in the space of about 3 years. We got a bit notorious for it. But yeah, as I say, two infamous Swiss teams from Celtic's past there. We'll know. The current champions are the young boys of Bern. The most successful team are Grasshopper Zurich. They've won the title 27 times. None of their teams have ever won a UEFA trophy. They've all won a Champions League, European Cup, UEFA Cup, Cup Winners' Cup. None of their teams have ever even contested a UEFA final as well. They're probably seen as a solid and consistent team at national tournaments without ever having any major superstars. They're always just one of these teams that just know how to get it done. Just a very efficient one. Their most, or their top scorer in their current squad that they've taken to the Euros is Xherdan Shaqiri. He has 31 goals in 123 games. And of course, their most capped player is their captain, and it's Granit Xhaka, 126 caps for him. So the current star men, I would say, in their team right now are Manuel Akanji, Manchester City, Jan Sommer, he's Inter Milan's goalkeeper, Noah Okafor, he's a young up-and-comer from AC Milan. He looks like he's got another one that's got the world at his feet. Denis Zakaria from Monaco, Fabian Schär from Newcastle. And they've also got, as I said, Granit Xhaka, the aforementioned Granit Xhaka, who seems to be on a career revival these days at Bayer Leverkusen. What has Xabi Alonso turned him into? He's unlocked something in Granit Xhaka.
See the wee guy that scored the third goal, the wee striker?
Brilliant Bolo. Yep.
He looked quite good.
Yeah, he's a nippy one, him. Yeah, the counter-attack goal right at the very end. He looks a decent player. But yeah, they've already kicked off the tournament. They played their first game. As I say, they beat the hipster's choice. They beat Hungary 3-1, which many people didn't see coming. A lot said, "Oh, Hungary, they're the dark horse of the tournament. They're the ones that are going to go far." But yes, Switzerland shocked them, beat them 3-1. Just said there, we counter-attack goal right at the very end. But I felt the first half, Switzerland were really comfortable against them. Hungary turned up the pressure in the second half. But yeah, it was a counter-attack at the end, and they made it 3-1. So that sets things up interestingly for going into Wednesday. Their current ranking in the FIFA World Rankings is they are 19th. And you may remember the last time that Scotland and Switzerland played each other in a tournament. It was at Euro 96 in the group stages, and Scotland did win 1-0 at Villa Park, and Ali McCoist scored the goal from outside the area, which isn't too associated with Ali McCoist. It's usually always tap-ins from inside the 6-yard box, but yeah, he did blast one in at the goalkeeper's near post from outside the area. And of course, I mentioned earlier on, their current manager is one of the players. It was like one of the Yakin brothers. It's Murat Yakin, who is the current manager of the Switzerland team. And there you go. That's your rundown of the Switzerland team. So, yeah, I would say no mugs, Michael, to say the least. To say that win over Hungary is for a bit of a spanner in the works, really, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, I think before that, we'd have said the Switzerland game, you'd be looking at 3 points for that. And then, obviously, if you try and get a point for Hungary, if worst case scenario. But the way Switzerland played, and you lined off for the players, Phil. I think people have underestimated them a bit. So I think they've got lack of form. And I said to you last Monday as well, a form for me was a concern going into the friendly results over the last 2 months. And I just felt you can't turn form on and off like that. I think you've got to be playing well going into a tournament really to try and get results. But I don't know. I've never saw the game the other night with Switzerland. So I don't really know how they played, but I've seen a good few of the players that you said there, and so it shouldn't be underestimated. But when we're up against it Wednesday, we need to get the win on Wednesday. Then because we need to have a win for any chance for the last game, I think really. So we need to get our ducks in a row basically for the game and get our game plan sorted and play the right structure and make a couple of changes, I think, as well. As long as because again, it's I think I said this to you a million times when we played Rangers and stuff like that. See if you keep it tight for the first 15-20 minutes. And they can go into the game. We never gave ourselves a chance against Germany one night. 1-0 down after 9 minutes. But the opening game as well, the whole occasion and stuff, you've given yourself no chance after 9 minutes. So I would even just ride out for the first 15-20 minutes. Don't even I wouldn't even be bothered if we don't show any ambition to attack the first 10-15 minutes. Just stay solid, stay compact, stay in the game for the first 15-20 minutes. Then go into after that and give ourselves a chance. But again, I'm confident, but again, say this before the Germany game, we're quietly confident. I mean, look what happens. So just need to see how it goes, really. Yeah,
totally. It's interesting as well, like the talk about staying in the game, because we don't. Goal difference is gone now. Goal difference is out the window. Forget it. If we happen to somehow finish third, it's no going. If it's on 3 points, goal difference is out of our factor now, so we don't need to win by a certain amount of goals in this game. We just need to win first and foremost. So I agree with you. I think it's a case of we're going to have to just sit tight early on. To say this mob are better, I think, than most people have given them credit for. They're going to be a stern test for us. And we just need to bide our time. But let's talk about the target then, essentially, because Regan, as you know, and you saw it the other night in the Bhoycie Bus chat, there was a bit of hysteria after the Germany game, shall we say, from certain folk about points targets and whatnot. And as I've said, and it seems to be common knowledge that 4 points is the target. Steve Clarke said that 4 points is the target, and I understand while some fans may have been like, why is he saying 4 points? Should be 6 points. And don't get me wrong, I think Stevie Clarke will happily bite your hand off to get 6 points out of the next 6, because that will get you through in second place. But we are a country that has never, ever, ever got out of group stage, right? We need to basically crawl here before we can walk. We've got baby steps here. But as it's been shown in recent years, when there has been this 24-team format, and 3 points for a win, with the third place team, 4 of the 6 third place teams with 4 points is normally enough. And I've actually got some proof of that from some stats on it, because 3 points for a win, incredibly, at tournaments only came in 1994, which was quite fascinating. It was 2 points for a win up until the World Cup in 1990 and Euro 1992. And I think domestic football, 3 points wasn't common until, I don't know, 80s or something. It was quite a bit. The tournament football, 1994 World Cup was the first time they brought in 3 points for a win. There were 24 teams in that tournament as well. And of course, at the end of it, this is what the third place teams looked like. You had Argentina on 6, Belgium on 6, United States on 4, and Italy on 4. So look at the teams that qualified. The ones on 4 and above went through. And then at Euro 2016, the European Championships went from a 16-team tournament to 24-team. So again, we're in that format where the third place teams are going to get through, or 4 of the best third place teams are getting through. And at Euro 2016, 4 points and 4 points again. There was 2 teams that got through on 3 points, but look at the key there, goal difference. Both of them had 0 goal difference. As I say now, if Scotland find themselves in a position where they finish third, goal difference is a write-off now. Unless we absolutely tank Switzerland or Hungary, we absolutely batter them, which I don't think is going to happen. 3 points is out the window now. We have to be aiming for 4. And of course, this is the last Euros in 2021. Portugal 4 points, Czech Republic 4 points, Switzerland on 4, and the Ukraine got through on 3 points. So 4 points, as it shows, is often enough in these scenarios. So Regan, that is the ideal scenario. And I think from Stevie Clarke's point of view, you want to get the 3 points on the board first and foremost, because at the last Euros, after we lost to Czech Republic, Regan, in the first game, that disastrous goal from the halfway line, what a mess that was. Only Scotland could concede that. Of course, we got the unexpected point against England, but of course, we got to the Croatia game where we now need to win and get to that magical 4 points mark. So ideally, I think Stevie Clarke's point of view, he'll want to get the 3 points in this game rather than he's chasing it going into the Hungary game, Regan.
Yeah, I think he will do. And I think, I think people need to be realistic as well. Scotland weren't expected to beat Germany the other night. So it's these 2 games that really do matter, you know. And I don't think the Switzerland game is going to be a rollover. So I think that obviously you look at Switzerland and you say that is probably a nation where it's probably a 50-50 game. You know, probably one of those games where you go, if they play well, they probably win the game. But I think we can actually say that we've got a proper team that can cause them problems. Because you look at the Spain match, and people talk about we played brilliant against Spain, but people need to remember that Spain played us when it was their manager's very first match as a Spain manager. They had a lot of injuries, you know, and these all contribute to us winning the match. If Spain played the proper way, then Spain are going to win the game. Assuming the Norway game in qualification, Erling Haaland and Odegaard, they were great. But then Erling Haaland got took off with 10 minutes to go because Norway thought they'd wrapped up the 1-0 win. and then Dice come up and scored that 89th minute equaliser, and then Kenny McLean scored that 90th minute winner. So I don't mean to be bad on Scotland, but sometimes football's all about being in the right place at the right time. It's not always about having the best team and the best squad, and the fact that now Steve Clarke done a great job for us to qualify, and now he's doing a bad job. It could just be that sometimes you need a stroke of luck.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely do. You make your own luck as well. And the thing is, Michael, if you can say there about being in the right place in the right time, obviously, I think I can say I think Scotland will definitely have chances or two, unlike the other night. I don't see us going through another game, not register a shot on target. But the key is, and we don't score many goals anyway, we have to take them. Like the Norway game there that Regan just referenced, we weren't great in that game until the 88th and the 89th minute when we took the two chances when they fell away. And on Wednesday night, it's got to be just put them away if they fault you, no matter how. Just get them in the back of the net. Just find a way to just don't fluff your lines on the big stage. Don't be overawed like we're talking about with the Germany game, because it's going to essentially be win or bust. But if it falls to them, then you're confident that they can take their chances this time.
On a point there, the Norway game Regan was talking about, that was a year ago tonight.
Okay.
Exactly 1 year ago. I agree with everything you said there. Like one of the comments said as well, said stringing 5 passes together would be an achievement. Like,
yeah,
see, we're not going to win the game if we can't keep the ball. That's one of the basics.
Yeah.
But at times we're getting the ball away the other night was criminal. Like, we're not giving ourselves a chance. I think we'll start Shankland on Wednesday. I think I don't know. I like Adams. He occupies defenders and he drags them about stuff. He's mobile and he's quite quick, but I don't think he's a goal threat. He's not the greatest of finishers. He's not the greatest of finishers either. So he's not really prolific, but it's about keeping the ball and getting the players further up the park. I would play Gilmore generally on Wednesday. I would honestly. I think he brings the best out of Callum McGregor as well. I think the two work well together. They're good at keeping the ball and taking the pressure off the defence, and he can try and get us higher up the park. Yep. No, I love John McGinn and I love Scott McTominay, but I don't think they're the greatest on the ball or greatest at keeping it. They're a good goal threat to them. So I think to play Billy Gilmore and Callum McGregor together, but either one of them, and maybe McGinn further forward, I think that gives us a better chance.
I know we want to, Phil, but I would try and maybe play James Forrest as well, because see on the Scotland lineup, we've got far too many midfielders. We're trying to put in square pegs and round holes.
Yeah, Friday night we were trying to play through the middle all the time, and the width, there was nothing down either side. Ralston just seemed isolated going forward. He was blowing out his backside, trying to get back. The left-hand side, which is our stronger side, Robertson and Tierney, we never looked to utilise that once. The whole where they swap positions and one goes forward, one stays back. We didn't even try to do that, and then we tried to play through the middle. Germany just kept sweeping everything up, and Tony Kroos just had the freedom of Munich on Friday night and was just pinging passes all over the place, man.
I watched a match yesterday, Denmark and Switzerland. No, Denmark. Denmark and Slovenia.
Aye.
And I watched Denmark and Slovenia there. But yeah, and as much as I thought Slovenia were a bad team to watch, they were still causing Denmark problems because they were kind of an old-fashioned 4-4-2, and they were knocking the ball in the box as well. I think sometimes when you're watching football, it can become quite predictable, and I think that's what's happening to most nations. I mean, you'll get Belgium again tonight. It was so obvious that every single time they were just going to try and lob the ball up to Lukaku and see if something would happen. But see when they brought on Doku and the other guy that set up the goal for Lukaku, the second goal, and then it does all.
The handball, yeah.
Yeah, see when they bring on the white players, they had a lot more joy
Thing is with Stevie Clarke though, I just don't know if he's got it in him to change system, and that's one of the things I said that on Friday night. I said it last week. There's going to come a point in this tournament where he's going to have to throw a bit of caution to the wind and change it up, because we could be staring elimination in the face, and we are right now. Because if we don't win, if we lose on Friday and Wednesday night, we're out. But let's talk about the team lineups then, because once again, I've done the wee graphic with predicted team lineups. Whether I'm right or what, who knows? I think I was actually relatively close with my guess, apart from I had Shanklin starting in the last one, and it was Che Adams that started instead. But yeah, once again, I have prepared a wee graphic, and let's see, comments.
Here we go, like that.
There we are. So, yeah. So for Scotland, I think Angus Gunn will keep his place in goal, regardless of what happened, because your other options are the Hearts goalkeeper, Xander Clark, and who's the other one? Motherwell's goalkeeper, Liam Kelly. I can't see either of them getting a start here. Obviously, Porteous is suspended. I think McKenna will come, and I think Hanley would be a big mistake because he is very, very slow at his age now. But none of the defenders really covered themselves in glory, because Jack Henry, he wasn't great neither, but I think he'll still keep his place. Tierney and Robertson, I can see them still staying in because, again, they are easily two of Scotland's best. I feel bad for Ralston, but I think he'll throw McCrory in there. I really do. I think he'll throw McCrory in. I think so. I mean, Ralston, I say everybody was terrible on Friday night. I noticed Ralston, and the Celtic captain, as it kept getting referred to by a certain Mr. Souness, seemed to single him out. Ali McCoy kept singling out Ralston on the commentary, and Souness kept, after the game, kept referring to McGregor as the Celtic captain, and kept singling him out. But yeah, I think McGregor will start. I don't think the Celtic captain will be getting dropped there, Graham. I've got Billy Gilmore coming in. I agree. I think Christie, drop him out, maybe use him as a sub later on with the energy that he's got, because we need to keep the ball, Michael. You're totally right. It doesn't make it any better if we keep giving the ball away. McGinn will start. I'd say McTominay would be the more advanced midfielder, and I have said Shankland again, but they'll be surprised if it is Adams. And maybe you never know, maybe Conway, maybe this will be like the X factor, the guy, the unknown quantity coming in. And as for Switzerland's team, I mean, given that they've won that first game, I don't see them pretty much changing from what they played against Hungary. So that was their same starting 11 there. And unless they've got injuries or something, then I don't see their manager breaking away from that. So that is the same team that they fielded. And I think they'll stick with that. But what do you think of that, Regan? Do you agree with that lineup?
I think it'll be that. I think the only thing that will be different is Che Adams will play.
Che Adams, yep.
Because I think Steve Clarke will look at it and go, see the amount of joy that Hungary got in the second half. I don't know if you've seen the game, but
I watched it.
Switzerland went 2-0 up, and then they kind of took the foot off the gas, and I felt they were really good in the second half. And I thought, in terms of that, I think Scotland will get a lot more joy on Wednesday than they did, because I don't think Switzerland are great. They tend to, as much as they're a good team, they tend to take the big moments well, but they're not a good team that kind of has the majority of the possession and controls the game. Because even in a evenly matched match like that, it seemed a bit chaotic, the game.
Yeah, see, the second half in particular, you're right. Hungary did come a bit more in it, because at first at half time when Switzerland were sitting 2-0, Hungary hadn't really delivered. So again, I'm like, these hipsters with all the dark horse picks. I was like, that's another busted flush. But no, second half, I do think Hungary picked it up. But it was a counter-attack goal right at the end, so they were a sucker punch. But just quickly on Hungary, what do you make of that big unit that they brought on as a substitute? He was a monster, by the way. Oh, God, don't I get
it? Something for the WWE Council.
Don't I go for a header with him? Jesus, man. Absolutely massive. But yeah, Michael, looking at that team, do you think that's roughly what's going to be? Who would you have in? Any changes on that at all?
No, that's kind of the team I had in mind. I still think it will stick with Ralston though. I think McCrory's getting enough.
I mean, I hope he does. I hope he does stick with Ralston, but I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like Ralston's been a bit hung out to dry by the certain people in the media. Him and McGregor. Sorry, the Celtic captain being hung out to dry.
I know. I just don't think McCrory's getting They're great level of experience. Ralston's been playing for a few years now, like in our first team. Like he's not been a starter every week, but he's played on a good number of games, and he's played a few times for Scotland as well. So I think it was McCrory's first cap against Gibraltar, was it?
It was actually.
So I don't see him throwing him into a major tournament. I think he's just there to get experience and stuff, and he'll have a look at him maybe more longer term the Nations League games in September onwards. But I agree with you. I agree with the rest of the lineup. I would start Gilmore, I'll drop Christie. That's what I was thinking. I think Shankland will start as well, though. I just think because we need to score, we need somebody on the end of things that's a better finisher than Shea Adams is. But I don't know. I can see him playing either of the two of them because I think he'll want Shea Adams' energy as well. So I can see him playing him. But I do think Shankland will start. The rest of the team's spot on. The rest of the team's what I had in mind anyway.
Yeah.
I think the good thing with Switzerland is they've not got that kind of. They've not got a match winner.
I'd say that. I know. I've said earlier on my weave, like they've always seen as a consistent team, a decent team, but they've never ever got any absolute world superstars. You know, somebody that's like playing for one of the top teams in the world. That's like, you know, in one of the top leagues, a contender for Ballon d'Or and stuff like that. They've never got that one guy. You know.
Obviously, people will say Jack has had a good season when he came for Arsenal, but he's probably somebody that is more an industrial player where he'll kind of do that role. But I'm kind of glad with that because I'm looking at it going, they've not got somebody that can really stand out for the crowd and really take the game by the scruff of the neck. So that's what's given me the self-belief that Scotland have got a really good chance here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the thing is, a few years ago, obviously, they had Xherdan Shaqiri, who was at the top of his game, playing for, he was Inter, Bayern, Liverpool, but obviously now he's 32, 33 years old, and he's playing in the MLS, but he is there with the squad, but it looks like he's just going to be there as an experienced head, a sub. I say he didn't play in the game the other day against Hungary, and yeah, but obviously he was one of those players that did have that match-winning ability. But I say time has maybe caught up to him just now. So hopefully he doesn't find the fountain of youth and rolls back the years on Wednesday night coming off the bench against us or anything and pings one right in the top corner. That wouldn't be good at all. But yeah, so let's obviously move on and look at obviously how we're going to win this. What's going to be the best weapon here? Is it going to be another? Is it all set pieces again, Michael, that we're going to need to be relying on? Or again, I mean, I say I know I put McCrory in my lineup there, but I agree if Ralston starts, we have to make sure we utilise the wide areas because again, we play in such a narrow formation with so many central midfielders. We've got to look to get forward again. As the occasion on Friday night, they just couldn't utilise any or execute any game plan. But again, Ralston's showing he can put in a good ball. Robertson and Tierney can put in a good ball for the other side. So it's got to be a lot more they're playing out wide and trying to utilise those areas rather than just this aimless passing it through the middle or just lumping it forward just to get it up somewhere. Because I'm sure Stevie Clarke will be aware that he has to have a more cohesive game plan, if there even was a game plan on Friday night, Michael.
I know, definitely. I think maybe got success a lot of times in the qualifiers as well, was getting Robertson and like Hickey, Patterson further forward as well, and getting McGinn or McTominay further forward on the end of things and the ball breaking outside the box and getting into finishes there. But like I said, as long as we keep the ball first and foremost, that's the main thing. Give ourselves a chance. But I think McGinn, McTominay, and whoever starts on the right hand side, and Robertson will be main players, just to get us further up the park. Get whoever starts up front, they need service as well, obviously. So I think that'll be important. As you said, so I know it sounds so defensive, but the set pieces are a massive thing as well. If we can make the most of corners, free balls into the box, free kicks and stuff like that, then and that's the biggest chance we've got as well. But again, so the qualifiers, McGinn and McTominay. I think he'll start McGinn just off whoever's up front anyway. Done that in the qualifiers a few times. So then if we can get McTominay into the box in midfield as well, then that'll give us the best chance. We just need to get further apart and keep possession better and allow us to get further apart in the first instance.
Yeah, Gilmore's that type of guy that can hold on to the ball. They showed it in the last Euros, the game at Wembley. I thought obviously he was fantastic that night, and the way that they did retain the ball and frustrate England. So they're going to need to just be patient and do that. But Regan, obviously these types of tournaments can be the defining moment for a player. You know, a young player gets thrown in there, plays with no fear, and it's what basically announces them to the world stage. And Right now with Scotland, I've said it in the few shows we've done, my biggest concern when it comes to Stevie Clarke is how brave a manager is he? He's too conservative-minded, but again, there's going to come an instant, I think, on Wednesday night where it's going to be we need to throw a bit of caution to the wind here. And obviously the unknown quantity in this squad, it would have been Ben Doak had Ben Doak been able to go, but obviously he got injured. But obviously Tommy Conway get drafted in, Regan. Do you think we're going to see Tommy Conway in the Switzerland game or even the Hungary game? Could he be this sort of missing, this surprise, this X factor that we're looking for? Because against Finland in the friendly, he was hell of an unlucky not to score a winning goal right at the end. It was a great save for the goalkeeper. But again, because, he's not, could he come on off the bench at some point and just playing with no fear? What a chance for him, or an international tournament, the European Championship. Could it be Tommy Conway as a secret weapon?
I think Scotland will use him because at the end of the day, Phil, I don't know what Michael's opinion is, I don't know what yours is, but I watch a lot of Scotland and I think Scotland fans are getting fed up in the tactics of Steve Clarke. And I think eventually he's going to need to change a little bit. And eventually, if Steve Clarke wants to become the most successful Scottish manager in football history, then he needs to change something. He needs to do something. And like you said, if he's going to be loyal to certain players, if he's going to be stubborn, then he's going to lose his job. And I think at the end of the day, when you put it down to that, surely if it's 0-0 with half an hour to go, he's going to need to use these guys. Because what's the point of him saying to Conway or Lewis Morgan saying, "Look, I'm going to bring you guys in"? What's the point of these guys being here? Because everybody wanted to see Ben Doak there, and Lewis Morgan and Conway were brought in because Ben Doak was not able to make it. So if you're not going to play them, then Steve Clarke will he will be sacked, and it's as simple as that. I feel like Wednesday night, in some people's eyes, is do or die for Steve Clarke as well, because I feel like if you look at the I know Michael's talking about the friendlies there, but I just feel like the feel good factor as well. I think if we win on Wednesday, then the feel good factor's back. Everybody's happy, and also the players have got that self confidence back as well. Because, like Michael was saying earlier about the fact that we've lost these friendly matches, I think it's one in 10 matches
Against Gibraltar.
Yeah, like I know we're playing Holland and we're playing Spain and France and all that, and I know Steve Clarke would say, I personally chose those friendlies to challenge the players, to challenge people like McGregor and McGinn and McTominay. But at the end of the day, you die on the sword that you reap, and if Steve Clarke's going to be extra loyal to the players, then he needs to die by that. And I think on Wednesday you'll see a different Scotland. I'm going to say that you'll see a different Scotland, and we're going to qualify. We're going to get 4 points, and we're going to be there, Phil.
It's still there on the table, but it's a weird predicament. I can see what you're saying there, Regan, about some of the fans are getting a bit fed up with tactics. I think the problem is obviously his success compared to recent Scotland managers. The guys that have had them, George Burley, Alex McLeish came back again, Craig Levein, Gordon Strachan, all the guys that have had a pop at it in the last 20 or so years since Craig Brown got us to a few tournaments in the 90s. Obviously they've all failed to get us there, but he's got us to 2 now. But we don't want to go and just make up the numbers. I saw quite an interesting montage the other night when they were, in the build up to the Euros, were showing different montages of Euros of years gone past. And they showed Euro 2012, and Ireland had qualified for that one. And they showed a clip in the studio after Ireland got eliminated of Roy Keane just basically saying, I don't want us to go there and just win awards for, we had the best fans. And I'm looking at what's happening right now with the Scotland team, and I'm like, everyone's praising them. It's a bit like Celtic, in our travels in Europe. Remember, we won the best fans in the world award for FIFA and stuff like that. It's like, you don't want to just, be that team that everyone goes, I really enjoyed playing against them. Like Celtic at home in Europe as well. I really loved our night at Celtic Park, getting the pictures for Instagram and stuff. It's like, no, you want other players to be intimidated to players. We want to go there and try and get results. Say Scotland have never, ever, ever got out of group stage at any tournament ever, and it's staring them in the face here when they were coming to this one, where it's like, well, the new format of going up to 24 teams allows a team with 4 points pretty much to be guaranteed to go through. So we don't want to be coming away from this and being, just again, wee participation award, Michael. Thanks for coming. You had great fans, but ultimately we've finished bottom of the group again. We've embarrassed ourselves again. The last Euros, we conceded the goal for the halfway line. So that's what Scotland achieved at the last Euros will be in montages forever more of that goal from the halfway line, unfortunately. And of course, this year, as I said at the top of the show, we're in the record books now for the biggest defeat on the opening day, a European Championship. So I don't want Scotland to just be the team that just gets there and then just does this. I want to see them just getting out of the group would be enough for me. If we go out in the round of 16, so be it. At least we've actually got that off the back. But the thing is, if Steve Clarke does keep on qualifying, I think David Kelly said it earlier on in the chat about, Clarke won't be sacked. Not well, we keep qualifying for games and selling out Hampden. Truth be told, the SFA don't aspire for us to be a successful nation. Nothing they do points towards success. Sounds a bit like the Celtic board at times with some of the way they act at times. But yeah, I don't want to be just that team that turn up and just get a wee pat on the back for the great fans they've got and what an atmosphere they brought. Oh, no Scotland, no party, Michael. I want us to actually go there and say that we actually did something and ruffled a few feathers, and they've still got it on the table, Michael. They have to go and take it in the next 2 games.
That's it, definitely. Just back to what Regan said as well about Clarke changing things. See, we've got to get 4 points in the next 2 games, right? I don't think he will, because he's stubborn this way, but he's got to drop his 5 at the back, I think. We've done it primarily to get Tierney and Robertson in the same team. And don't get me wrong, it's worked well a lot against, but when you're up against it in a major tournament and you've got to go and get points on the board, and you've got to get forwards. You've got to be a bit more advanced with your lineup and get more forward-thinking players in. Well, if Robertson and Ralston or Hickey or Patterson don't get forward, whatever, then we don't get up the park. Because we've got essentially 5 at the back, and you're relying on McGinn and McTominay to be the only one to support whoever's up front. So I think he's just got to be more adventurous in the next couple of games. Whether he'll do it or no, I don't know. I think he's too stubborn, and he'll just stick to the 5 at the back and hope we can build on it from there. But again, we'll see. I think, you said, Phil, it's tiresome. This turn up to tournaments and come away with nothing and getting awards and your fans being praised and stuff. We've seen it a million times. Don't know, I've been a 2-1 for France since France 98, apart from the last Euros, but I was just at fans, obviously. But got to show more ambition, and that starts with the lineup and the players you pick. Don't know where you're going to get rid of that tag as we get through the next round, and that's will make progress at tournaments. So I think he's got to change it for the Switzerland game and be more adventurous with lineup and his formation. But again, where he does that, I don't know.
I don't. It's you said with the Tierney and Robertson thing, because Regan, only Scotland. This is the thing that only Scotland can do. The 2 proper world-class players that we've produced in recent years both play the same position, and it's left back, which you can only really play one left back. It's luckily Tierney can play at centre back, but yeah, Regan, we're kind of putting square pegs in round holes by having to play them. Remember, there's a wee period in Regan where he would play Tierney on the right-hand side. Remember, sometimes he'd play him at right back as well, just to try and fit him in.
Yeah. Well, I was even thinking about that for Wednesday night. Would you play Tierney right back then? If you're not confident with Tony Nelson or McCrory?
Obviously, Tierney's a much better player, but I'm always a fan of keeping balance in the team. So I think your left-sided player should be on the left-hand side, and well, in defence in particular, because you can easily get twist and turn from a striker. But obviously, when it's in the more advanced positions, wingers, I understand the whole inverted thing. The Arjen Robben move, as it is, you cut in from the right-hand side on your left foot. He kind of pioneered that in recent years. Now every winger wants to do that, cut in on their stronger foot. But in the defensive area, I always like to try and keep it as balanced as possible because it's such a crucial area. So for me, I would always like to keep Tierney on the left. But yeah, we do run into a problem, Regan, where we've got our 2 best players, Robertson and Tierney, are both left backs, and you can only really have one out-and-out wing back / left back in the team. It's a real frustrating, and it's only a problem that Scotland could have, really, when you think about it. Just the type of thing. And I think I said on Twitter as well, I'm already mentally preparing myself for if Scotland actually do get the 4 points, somehow, some way, Scotland will become the first team to get 4 points in this format and not qualify. Somehow. It's just, you just wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But no, we're going to try and remain positive, because now we're going to hit the predictions, guys. Before France and Austria come out for the national anthems, let's get the predictions in here 50 minutes. So, Michael, are Scotland going to keep themselves in the tournament? Because that's the key here. We've got to keep ourselves in the tournament going into the last game. Ideally, we want to get the 3 points on the board. That sets us up better for the Hungary game, but a draw would just keep us in there. Are Scotland still going to be in the tournament come close of play Wednesday night?
I'm not sure, Phil, to be honest. It all depends on the lineup, but I'm going to be positive and say 1-0 Scotland.
1-0 Scotland.
Got to be. I just didn't see it against Germany. I couldn't be this optimistic guy that said we can go and win everything. I just didn't feel it. But when you pick the right team and the right players, then I think we're capable of winning. Just what team turns up, what mentality turn up with. That's the main thing. But I can't say we've got it in us to go and win. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
The players have got to believe that as well. So we'll just see with the lineup. We'll know quite quick with the lineup and who starts, what the intentions are. So no, I'm being positive. 1-0.
Okay. And Regan, will Scotland still be in the tournament end of Wednesday night?
I'm going for a draw for 1-1.
1-1. Yeah. I've got a feeling Scotland don't do it the easy way. I've got a feeling, as I'm saying, if we get the 3 points on the board on Wednesday, that sets us up nicely. But I got a funny feeling we'll do it the hardest way possible and we'll only get a point on Wednesday night. But do you know what? No, in fact, I'm going to just go for it as well and say 1-0 Scotland. But it wouldn't surprise me. Scored a scabby equaliser at the end or something just to make us wait that bit longer. But yeah, as long as they are still in it in some capacity come close of play Wednesday night. But yeah, I've got a funny feeling it's going to come out of the Hungary game and it's going to be hide behind the couch territory watching that one. But yeah, we'll see how it goes on Wednesday night then. But yeah, we will head off now because if France and Austria's kicking off soon. Thanks for giving us a wee watch, guys, and sticking with us. I'm sure it was better than listening to the pundits on ITV talk about, let's cross over to the England camp and talk about Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane and Phil Foden and all that. So I'm glad you came along to join us for that one. And yeah, enjoy. If you're going to go watch the France-Austria game, enjoy it, folks. It's going to be another busy week on the bus like it was last week. So yeah, Tuesday Ticket will be on tomorrow. Wednesday, we're looking at 2 shows in one night on Wednesday. It's going to be a busy one under the bonnet. And then there's going to be a PMP for the Switzerland game as well. And then TNF as well. And then, well, Friday we'll wait and see. I mean, if Scotland are effectively out the tournament, then might have Friday.
Don't say that.
No, I know. Now, Scotland's still going to be in the tournament. So anyway, we'll deal with that. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So we're heading off, folks. Again, thanks for watching. And yeah, remember to hit the like button on the way out. And we shall catch you later, folks. Enjoy it.
Yeah, guys.